At Monte Vista, you can discover a landscape rich with charm and money, where villas featuring sweeping views dot the gently rolling hills. Explore the vibrant community by visiting renowned museums, taking a stroll down the piazza, or learning the culinary arts on an authentic wood-fire oven. What's up guys, Rakowski here, and today we are judging and rating all of the builds in Monte Vista. Before we get started, please don't forget to like this video, and if you enjoy Sims content that does not focus on The Sims 4, then I highly suggest that you hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to check out my community tab where you can vote on which world we review next. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Well, thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. I can't even just saying it out loud. I am just blown away. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Like to wake up to that this morning was just pure enjoyment and I had a really good day. But yeah, before I get cry, here's Monte Vista and we're here to judge and rate the builds. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Spice Girl shirt because sometimes like it's a little bit of like a celebration thing for me, right? And they're kind of the reason that I'm on, like you can thank them for my whole existence because without them I would never have had the confidence to do anything like that. It's just something that like would not be possible if I didn't have girl power. Okay, I'm rambling. So far in Monte Vista, like the builds have kind of been middle of the road and we can see that there's like a lot of cohesion because having a cohesive world is a real blessing because we do not get that very often from EA. And even just like looking around, like nothing stands out as an eyesore and thank goodness. However, we haven't seen the insides yet. So let me just find our first house and we'll jump in and see what kind of surprises await us in Monte Vista. First up is favorable flat. I absolutely agree. Okay, so I wasn't really sure what I was looking for in Monte Vista. This is what I was looking for. This is kind of what I think of when I think of an Italian house. I definitely prefer urban landscapes as opposed to like country landscapes. And this gives me like an urban Italian house. Like, you know those narrow streets where there's those like tall 3 or 4 story buildings, like winding paths and stuff? This is what I'm looking for. Now the back is a little bit flat, but even just breaking it up in the middle makes it look like different buildings and they utilize it as a parking space. I'm actually really impressed. The windowing's a little bit unusual, but again, like it's an EA build, so we can't expect too much. But I mean, even just like looking at it, like walking by and stuff, like you feel Italy. So that's kind of what I was looking for. And it can't be Italy without balconies like this. Like where's Juliet gonna go, right? She has so many options here. Love it. Okay, let's just jump inside. Okay, so like this isn't too bad. If you remember in the last episode, I said like for the big living rooms, you should just make like 2 smaller living rooms, like 2 smaller seating areas. And since it was my suggestion, it's probably gorgeous. So looking upstairs, oh, a 3rd seating area. Okay, I didn't mean do all living rooms. I think in the inside, like they could have utilized this a little bit better. Let me see, where do the colors separate? I would have liked it if they actually did it like 3 buildings almost. Like remember in the last episode, there was those 3 separate houses. They could have done something like that and clumped it together. I don't know, but going downstairs, I'm like, okay, the kitchen, ooh, a wedding cake. Is this guy gonna get married? Anyway, so looking at the kitchen, I was gonna say that I love the kitchen. There's quite a few half baths in here as well, which I guess is fine. And I noticed there's a teensy bit of green tile. Nothing gets past me, but I don't think it's that ugly. I actually really like, again, the masonry for the kitchen. This style does kind of remind me of other Sims games. Like you could do this in Sims 1, you could do it in Sims 2, you could do it in Sims 4, right? So I think the style of house is great as like a Sim style. Oh God, how high up does this thing go? This thing is like 4 stories high. Okay, so even though it is a little bit tall, they do kind of fill up the space. No area is too empty except maybe this hallway part. But as a whole, again, like the shell is just absolutely gorgeous. I really love just like the feel that it's giving off. It gives me Veronaville vibes. It gives me like actual Verona vibes, if that makes sense. This is by far the best build we've seen. Like I wish the inside was better, but I'm still gonna give it a 9. Viva Monte Vista, I hope. Next up is Happy Hive. Okay, so my first thought is, well, first off, the thumbnail was absolutely ugly, so I'm surprised that it looks as pretty as it does. But even though the shell is like very simple and safe, and it's kind of my first Sims build, if you know what I mean, they did pay attention to every little detail that I can see. I think the landscaping is exquisite. The little stone path, it actually leads up to the end of the lot. Like that is something that we do not see. I know they're not the same, but at least they put in that kind of effort. Again, all the flowers flowers are nice. The flowers over here are nice too, my goodness. They used the flower box not underneath a window. Why aren't they putting it under the windows? That'd be so much easier to water. But the one thing I do want to give credit for is this roofing. So if the porch was one tile wider on each side, the roof would stick out the sides and it would look ugly as hell. And they have done that before. So I'm glad they didn't do that this time. Okay, jumping inside, we have terracotta tiles all over the house. But you know what? For this style, I can forgive it. Even in the bedroom, I do prefer this style of terracotta compared to some of the other ones that we have seen. Ooh, they actually use a kitchen sink. Oh my God, this bathroom hurts my eyes, but not because it's ugly, it's because it's too bright and I'm zoomed in from like my bright monitor. So I'm glad they didn't make a green one. And going inside here, again, the pinks are really good. In this kind of lighting, like this pink is just the right temperature to go with the woods and to go with the floors. I'm very impressed because usually when EA does pink, it's gross. Honestly, I have very little complaints about this house. I'm very impressed. Like usually in a house, little things will bother me, like all of my little pet peeves, but this house didn't really have any of that. And even though it's not mind-blowing, I feel attached to it. I'm gonna give it a 9. I know it's simple, but I mean, like if I was like just like getting like a starter home for my sim and I just wanted like a single bedroom and nothing too big, this would probably be at the top of my list. Well done. Next up is historic house. Okay, so for this kind of house, I'm very impressed how they made it not look like a big box. This is not a shape that I would really ever try to attempt myself. I kind of like the bump out on the side here. It just kind of breaks it up a little bit. And one detail I really love is how you can see the statue through like the Juliet balcony on the second floor. That's really nice too. Actually, it's got a couple balconies. There's a lot of windows on this side and not a lot of windows on some of the other sides. I kind of like the columns being like detailed here at the back. It just adds like a little classical element. Ooh, and they have like little like wall sconce with candles. That kind of reminds me of The Sims 2 for some reason. And it's like beautifully landscaped with this little fountain, and like even how like the first floor is bigger and they shrink it as it goes upstairs. I think that's gonna like serve us really well in the long run. Okay, so far so good. I'm scared though. Let's look inside. Okay, it's a little bit homogeneous, but I don't hate the color palette. I kind of like this goldish color with the red. This is not a red that I would typically use, but I do think it looks nice. Ooh, I love bathrooms where like the bathtub's in the middle of the bathroom. I just think it's very ritzy. Okay, like the kitchen's pretty good too. Like it's kind of big and empty, but it is a mansion and it is kind of nice and cleaned up and organized. The living room lounge area, I'm glad it's just one and they just have the TV on the wall. Like you can do a big empty room as long as you kind of clump things together. Just don't put couches on the wall. Maybe a little chair in the corner next to the table would be fine. Ooh, this is cute. It's like a little study. This red, like I'm impressed. Like this is a nice warm red and it goes really well with the brown, goes well with the goldish yellow. I don't know, no complaints so far. Complaint. Okay, look at this hallway. Like why does it have to go all the way out to here? You know what I mean? Like there's just little efficiency things. No sim is gonna go in this corner for any reason. Oh, it's turning into Sunset Valley as we go upstairs, like yellow and blue all mixed together. It's just like the land grab mansion, my goodness. But I do like this bathroom. I don't know how I feel about a love seat in the bathroom, especially a fabric one. Like what if something splashes? I don't know, that's kind of gross to me. What's upstairs? So you have to go outside to get into the bedroom upstairs, which I don't think is necessarily the most practical thing. They didn't have to clump this all up here. I think it would have been just fine with only the love seat or even just like an ottoman or something. The master bath is kind of exquisite though. Even though it's a bit of a baby poo wallpaper, they didn't overdo it. The tub is in the middle. I love the squares, like all the floor tile details. Well done, EA. Whoever's in charge of the floor tiles, you're usually doing a good job. And I do notice it, but unfortunately it's surrounded by all these like ugly choices sometimes. But even just like little details like the half wall, like by the toilet, I really like it. I would have loved like a little loo roll or something, right? But unfortunately they didn't include it. Okay, so this house is kind of big and it did go a little bit downhill at the end, but like up until the halfway point, like I was sure we were gonna have a perfect 10. Unfortunately, there was like a few problems inside. I didn't like some of the colors. I didn't like some of the layout, especially the giant ugly hallway, but I'm only gonna take off 1 point and we're gonna land the historic house at a 9. Actually, come to think of it, I'm shocked that I haven't seen like a weird ugly rainbow house in the middle of somewhere, because that is so EA to do something like that, but maybe we'll find something interesting inside. Next up is the Homey Haven, and these are like grandparents in Monte Vista, so I do like how a couple of the households that we've seen are more on like the older side. I hate when they like neglect the elder life stages. I wish elders had more to do. If I could pick one Sims 4 pack, it would be like elder stuff. Send them to bingo, get telemarketing scams, you know, like give us old people stuff. Anyway, that's like a whole separate thing. Today we're looking at the houses in The Sims 3, the superior Sims game. So looking at at here, I don't know, like red shutters. I like it. I was on the fence and I fell off the fence and now I like it. Never mind about my snarky tone. Instead, let's just translate my snarky tone to this off-centered window. How disgusting. Oh, it's that same lattice roof fencing. But again, like the landscaping is exquisite. I absolutely love it. And it's something that like a Nonna would do, right? Like this is Vincenzio and Francisca and they are in Italy and they have grandchildren. So like they're like a Nonna and a Nonno, right? So let's see if we get that out of this house. Okay, so this is perfect because in every Nonna's house, you have the couch and the stuff that people are allowed to sit on with the TV. And then you have like the couch and stuff that no one's allowed to sit in under any circumstances or touch it for that matter. And it's like in its own separate room, right? So nobody's probably going in there. I'm trying to bring out like the Italy in this, and I don't know a lot about Italy, but I do know like quite a few like Italian families. So I've got a sense of like some of their styles and values and stuff. So I'm just trying to use that. But I will say now that no parlo italiano così bene. I don't even know how to say it, but I am not an Italian speaker. So be warned that I'm going to say some of these words hilariously.
Il natrio è l'essa transparent la stata brillante Brasilia.
Okay, going upstairs. Oh, there's like a room for like one of the grandchildren. Okay, so yeah, like that's also something like you would have like a separate room for like maybe like the grandchild to stay over, maybe not the parents, right? Depending. But sometimes like you have the whole family over, but I guess they can stay somewhere else. Okay, I really like this bathroom. This is what I was talking about. You can have a big bathroom, but like you can include like a medicine cabinet, like some towel storage, a table, a plant. Like it just fills out the space and you can still make your bathroom big. And in fact, this bathroom is one of the smallest ones that we've seen and they could still fit all that stuff easily. Okay, I'm just turning a blind eye to this green in this bathroom because I think this might be as close as we're gonna get because like I really do like this house. I really love the story. I really like the fact that they're grandparents, and grandparents in Italy are their own class of grandparents. And this house is beautiful. I love the shutter colors. I love most of the inside. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 10. I didn't expect this to be the 10, but you know what? Sometimes like the build is like an amalgamation of different factors, and this one kind of hit every single thing that I'm looking for. So well done. Next up is Honest Homestead. Okay, so this guy's a criminal too, and I was kind of afraid of this, but we're definitely gonna touch on the mafia stereotype. I didn't want to go there, but the Sims went there, so here we are. But I will say, I love this garden. This is very nice and clean and neat and tied up, which is perfect for the city landscape. I would have been disappointed if it was more in the country because they could have done more with it, but I think this is just the right amount for urban. This window shutter color, this is my kind of color. I love this color. This is my teal, and this is kind of like my shade of red. I like deeper, kind of cooler reds, and that kind of goes really well with the teal too. So I like how they use two colors that actually go together. And yeah, like the window boxes have the flower. I don't know, maybe this is a 10 as well. I love the columns on the side, like nice little detail. I don't know, I'm blown away, and this thing has lore. So let's jump inside and see if it disgusts us. Okay, it doesn't really. Now, I was actually gonna say these two chairs here are kind of weird, but the painting kind of balances it out. I don't know, maybe there's like, I'm just imagining him tying people up to them, so maybe that's why they're there. I don't know. This is more like the couches I was thinking of that like you can't touch in Nonna's house. So this is more like a little bit more formal, but you know, he's a big shot. He's a big mafia guy. So he can have the nice stuff and he can probably just, you know, take it from somebody else if he destroys it. Now I know I like white bathrooms, but I really like this purple counter. Very beautiful color. I love this blue counter too. They're blowing me away with the color palette in this one. At least they're capable of it. Going upstairs, I love the parquet flooring continuing upstairs. I didn't mention it downstairs, but here it is. The terracotta tile in the bathroom, this is exactly where I like terracotta, either in the entranceway or in the bathroom. So that's great. This is a beautiful little bedroom for the little girl. My goodness, Victoria. Victoria is one of my favorite names in case you didn't know. Wow, I love it. I even love the bathroom upstairs and like the master bedroom. So this is like a nice little small house, and like city houses would be a little bit smaller. They're not usually like this monstrosity, but I mean like they really filled it out nicely. Again, like this is like a Simsy house. This is like a family house, nice and space efficient. There's room for everybody. I don't know. This has honestly hit every nail on the head for me. I think it's exquisite. I would actually this is the family I want to jump in and play actually. I'm gonna give this one a 10 as well. Oh, thank God. I was so scared Monte Vista was gonna disappoint, but I know a lot of people were excited for this one, and now I can see why. Maybe like the best builds are in the second half. Next up is Lonely Lot. Okay, like the stone texture, I will say, because this is very unlike anything we've seen so far in Monte Vista. I really like the stone outside. Ooh, I even like the mossy bricks. Like that's a nice little detail. Because again, this is like a countryside house. So like you wouldn't expect the exact same kind of architecture. Again, the landscaping, like the lattice roof fencing, it's very nice. They all have terracotta pots in the front. Like I don't know if every house in Italy has pots in front of it, but you'll have to let me know about that. Maybe it's basil. Okay, the windowing is questionable at the back, but like, you know, what can we do? Like we can't be that picky in like in a Sims 3 world, right? But I mean, looking at it, I really like how they have like the arches like to the entryway. There's a couple doors inside the house, and your Sims are going to be able to get everywhere they need to be, so that's always good. The roofing's a little simple because of the shape, but again, like they did the porch in a way where they wouldn't make the roof ugly, so I'm very happy about that. Okay, let's jump inside. Okay, that's like a lot of tile, but it does kind of look realistic. Like I have seen floors like this in real life. I didn't like them, but I mean, like at least it's kind of realistic. My goodness, the whole thing, really? Is the upstairs like that? No, okay, good. I just had to check. So a green kitchen. I don't hate this kind of green kitchen. I'd rather have green wood than a green wall, but this is very 90s. Well, at least 90s North America as far as I'm concerned. Ooh, we got another bathtub with like the tub like on top of a little platform there. So that's kind of nice. And we got a toilet paper roll for once. Okay, so going over here. Yeah, this is like a very like Italian grandmother's living room, even though it's like younger sisters. But I think like there's like a little more like sophistication and class in a country like Italy. So I would expect like younger people maybe to have something a little bit more classy. This bathroom's like the same but bigger, but at least they have like one cabinet. I'll take it. Like honestly, after some of the empty bathrooms that we've seen. This lamp is off center like usual. I hate when they do that. If you put it off center, then put an alarm clock on the other corner. That at least makes sense. Yeah, and this house is for like young sisters, and like they're kind of generic, like two different pink bedrooms with two different kinds of makeup and like or perfume and stuff. So I don't know, it's a little bit uninspiring kind of as a concept, but I don't mind having kind of like basic Sims and basic houses like this, because part of the Sims is making your own story, and I don't like every Sim to have like a completely thought out story, or else it's like when I play Pleasant View and it's like, okay, I have to do these 85 things to make the story exactly how I like it. So it's nice to have people who can kind of just do whatever. But that being said, like the outside is still pretty. The inside, like thinking about it, like big, empty, and like kind of ugly. But this might be the best shell we've seen. I'm not sure. I don't know. That floor bothered me. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I didn't really know what to do. I was just kind of talking it out and like thinking in my head, and then I just bam, C+ popped into my head. So here we are. Next up is Lovely Lodging. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I should explain. So I read her bio before I popped in here, and it says she doesn't have a lot of money or a big house. She has this gigantic villa that I am so jealous of, and she has 7,000 simoleons and household funds. If this is what poor looks like in Italy, sign me up. My goodness. Okay, so let's just ignore her and the whole story, because like minus points right away for like the lore dodging here. But let's just look at this. I actually really like the house. When I said I was envious of this, I would absolutely live in a house like this in real life. My goodness, look how cute this thing is. Little garden in the middle, so it won't take up your whole day, but then you can still eat like every day from your garden. Love this rooftop balcony thing. I would have liked an actual like Juliet balcony somewhere, but oh my god, okay, so this bridge is fine actually. I was just thinking like a little place you could lean out. Well, actually, you shouldn't lean too hard because these are kind of sharp, but you could lean out and be like, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?" Fun fact, that line in the play doesn't mean "where are you, Romeo?" It means "why is your name Montague?" because their families are feuding. Wherefore means like why. So why are you Romeo? Like I'm not allowed to love you. Anyway, that's just like a fun Shakespeare fact. Okay, let's jump inside. Okay, I feel personally victimized by this kitchen and dining. This is so sad and lonely, and it also has a bathroom sink, so like ignoring the whole context of this. So I don't know. It's not a really nice way to convey the lonely concept. I don't know. I just think it's a little bit lazy. Ooh, going in here, we have a purple striped bathroom. I don't know if it should be stripes, but I do like the shade of purple that they used. And again, like the whites that they're choosing for the toilet, it's almost as if EA heard me saying he wants a white toilet, so they made it like the whitest, brightest color it could be. Actually, if they ever find out about me, they're probably gonna name a toilet after me at this rate. Okay, so the living room is kind of like boring, but this house is kind of giving me a little bit of like all of Spectre's Sims 2 house vibes. I know her house isn't split up, but just having having like the rooms and like the bathroom kind of on the edge and having it be about this size, but that house didn't have a second floor and this house does. Like I said, like she doesn't have a lot of money. Screw that. Like whatever. Looking at this bathroom, again, very bright and white, but I really do like this setup, and they do use like little subtle hints of color here, like a little pink and a little yellow. That's the right way to use yellow. Like don't make this like a school bus bathroom. Okay, and the bedroom is purple, and I do notice that violet is her favorite color, so they did kind of keep that consistent throughout too. Well done. Like this second episode is just blowing me away. I do love a lot of the choices. I love the shell. I love everything about the house. I just don't love the lore. So like, I don't know how to incorporate this. I do kind of give things bonus points for like when like the lore is right on par with the build. So I think I should take points away because this one isn't. So it's kind of like a 10 house, but overall as a build, I'm going to give it an 8. She wants to be swimming in cash. Like I bet if she went to work once, like her lifetime aspiration would just go dun da da da, completed. Next up is Marvellous Mansion. I disagree, but anyway, let's just get started with this. So Giacomo here, he is actually a thief. So you can see he's a kleptomaniac and his bio says that he loves to steal, but he doesn't want to be a criminal. He wants to be like living in the lap of luxury. So I guess he's not like as mafia as some of the other families. I don't know how I feel about this. Like it seems like half of these Sims are criminals and half of them are like farmers. I don't know. It just sounds kind of like offensive. Like, I mean, even I know there's more to Italian culture than that. So looking at this, I don't know, the swimming pool is a little bit boring and basic. Now I'm missing the round corners that they used to use, but this roofing and this shape, this is very typical. This is very Sims 4 Oasis Springs as well. Just kind of like the layout and like the roofing, but I do like the hipped roofs. I do not think this is a Marvellous Mansion though. That is not the vibes I get. I think it's all right, but like based on some of the detail and the gardens that we've seen in other houses, I think this falls a little short for a mansion. So let's just jump inside and see what we get. Okay, I don't know how I feel about, maybe I do like the stone flooring. Like the masonry throughout is fine, and they paired it with a really nice dark wood. I hate this bookcase. Why is it in every Sims 4 base game build? Drives me nuts. I was gonna say, what the hell is all this? But it's the stuff he steals. Like he stole like balloons, a baseball, like what? It looks like he's stealing from children. My goodness, like don't steal from kids, at least steal from greedy adults. Haven't you ever heard of Robin Hood? Anyway, this kitchen, it looks like a medieval kitchen. I don't know why I said that. Like, I don't know what a medieval kitchen would look like, but it just kind of gives me like dungeon-y medieval vibes, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Although this guy is a thief, so like you never know what he's doing with his knives. Going upstairs, we have the wrong way to use yellow, just as I was mentioning recently, so I don't really love this. This wall is a Sims 4 base game wall. Like I've seen this wall exactly in an Oasis Springs house. Okay, I think this bedroom is kind of peculiar. I don't like how everything's kind of clumped onto this one side of the half wall. I kind of like the half wall architecturally. I just would have turned this into like, I don't know, like an office or something over here, because this kind of leads into the bathroom, so that kind of makes sense. Oh my god, there's like kind of doors all over this house too. I don't know. Oh my god, the top floor is like a little baby room. That's kind of cute. So like if I ever played this guy, like I would see that and think, okay, I have to adopt a baby instantly. Maybe he's stealing things for the baby because he wants to like have it. I don't know. That's just kind of the way that I'm interpreting the story. But again, like the descriptions for these Sims are not super detailed, but like he doesn't seem to be like a family oriented Sim or anything, so who knows. Yeah, coming back out, like I wouldn't say Marvellous Mansion. There are quite a few things I like about it, and I do think the inside is like nice and different and a little bit peculiar, a little bit different than some of the things that we've seen recently, but nothing really blew me away. And especially after the last few houses, like those were fantastic, and this is just missing the mark. I'm gonna give this one a 7. I almost gave it a 6, but that baby room does tip it up into B territory for me, and like I just love little details and getting excited about things, and at least I found something at the very end. And last but not least is the Picturesque Plot. This is another Elder Sim too. I'm so happy with the inclusion of like a bunch of Elder Sims, and it says in his description that he like gave away his restaurant or whatever, and it's funny because that's another Italian stereotype. Like every Italian family has someone who owns a restaurant, right? But to be fair, Italian food is arguably the best in the world. I always like, personally, I think like the food from France is like the best, but I think Italy is a close second, and in fact, if you're in Italy, it's like a third of the price. So if you're going for the food, Italy is the place to go. France might be a little bit better, but you're not gonna be able to afford anything. But of course, that's just like personal opinion and taste. And keep in mind, I'm a vegetarian, so like meat plays a big role for me. And in French, like at least French have like the best pastries. Here I am rambling, but looking at this house, it just looks like a generic like suburban house, right? And they like didn't screw up the roofing or anything, but there's no detail that I particularly love. I just think like the whole thing is like a nice solid B V all the way around. But even though that is the case, I want to give it more credit because usually EA screws something up as I work my way around. So it's pretty impressive. Okay, let's go downstairs and see what's going on. We have a big tiled entryway, which is fine because that's what I've been asking for, I guess. But I didn't want it to look like this. Maybe I should turn on the lights. Usually the lights are on when I start. Okay, it's even brighter than I thought. This gaudy painting has been all over these builds and like, I'm not really having it. I don't know how I feel about it. Oh, this is gross. This is like Sims 4 green. Barf. This may be the cutest kitchen that we've seen. It's a few too many seating area. Actually, maybe not too many seating areas for an Italian family, but who knows. Going into the kitchen though, like I love the brick wall in the back. He used to own a restaurant, and if he's Italian, I'm sure that restaurant had to have pizza, right? So where's his pizza oven? Some of the other houses had it. Okay, going upstairs, we have the stairs. Like I hate when they face the stairs towards a wall like this. You should try to have stairs like in a more convenient way, because if you think about it, like to get from like the bed, like you have to go all the way around here. Whereas if like the stairs just went like straight down or something, it would be in a better place. But whatever, it's EA, I guess. So, oh, another green bathroom. I don't know how I feel about these wallpapers in the bathroom. I just feel like things are gonna get a little bit sticky, but I do like this tile like next to the tub. So like they are using a little bit. And again, like how white is this? I have to check this. If this is all Fs in the hex code, this is too white. Oh my God, it basically is. It has 3 Fs in it. This is too bright for me. But I mean, like other than that, I think the floor plan is like kind of effective. They have like the bathrooms kind of each for one bedroom. The stairs are in the middle of the house. It's worse when the stairs are on one side of the house. So I don't know, going through it, it's kind of nice. Again, it doesn't really screw anything up necessarily. It just doesn't really wow me in any particular way. I think all the way around, like they did a really good job, but nothing really stands out. And I'm gonna have to cap this at a 7.5. To get an 8, at least, like I have to feel the tingle, and there was just no tingle in this house, unfortunately. Well, that does it for the second episode of Monte Vista. Thank God we got some good scores this time. My goodness, I was so afraid in the first episode. I thought if this whole world, because it kind of looks the same, I was afraid that each house was just gonna be like a repeat of the last, because that's how Veronaville is, and that's like the last Italian world that I remember from The Sims. I think Veronaville is like 3 houses and they just like copy like one of them like 45 times, so it's all like the same down this one street. But we finally see that they're showing some diversity. The builds are not as alike as they seem, and in fact, that's kind of like what I really wanted. I like the whole thing to look cohesive from like the map view, but when you get down, you see each house for what it is, you see different details, and for better or worse, each one is unique. But what did you guys think? Were you impressed as I was? Like, I really enjoyed the houses this time. They may not be your style, and they're not even necessarily my style, but playing up to the whole aesthetic, I think that they did a really good job. And we haven't had any like awful scores yet, you know what I mean? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a like and make sure to subscribe for some more Sims build review videos. Oh my God, I'm kind of exhausted. So fun fact, like the last episode, like I finished filming it, I changed my shirt and I filmed the second episode. So I've been doing these houses for like 3 hours and I'm zonked. I tried to do all of them in one go, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And yeah, since we're almost done Monte Vista, make sure to head over to my community tab where you can vote on which world you want to see next. Boom.